Happy Sunday, guys. All right, friend, you're going to go ahead and go live on your page. Let me see if we are live on mine.
Hey, everybody.
Hello, hello. Happy Sunday. All right, happy Sunday, guys. It is October 26th, honey. We made it in this good rainy weather.
Ugh, it is so ugly outside. I was just in it. Just in it.
And I actually love it. This is my favorite weather. I'm not going to tell you a lie, friend. I'm not going to tell you a lie. All right. Is it showing? Hey guys, happy Sunday. Let me know if we are showing live. I'm on my Facebook page and I don't see anything. Leo and I are here. My girl just made it off the road. She just made it in time. She beat this weather.
Yes, we are live on my page.
Okay. All right, here we go. I see it. I see it. We are here, guys. Happy Sunday, guys. Drop a heart in the chat. Let us know that you can hear us. Leo and I are here. We are super excited.
Hey,
Hey,
guys.
Andrea. How are you, love? Thank you guys so much for joining us. So excited to be here. There we go. Hey, Precious. Hey, Bookie. All right, Leo and I are here. Um, Super excited to be here. We missed you guys so much last week, but we got some good topics to redeem ourselves, so to speak. We are talking about keeping up with the Joneses. Hey, bestie, Roxy is here,
Hey,
and we
Roxy.
are super excited to play with you guys today. All right, okay, friend, we are here. We are ready. Um, Like I said, Leo just got off the road, guys. She just got back from Miami. Weather is crazy where we are right now in West Palm Beach. It is, when I say raining cats and dogs, honey, it is coming down. So I'm happy my boo made it back safely and sound. And now we're ready. So thank you guys so much for being patient with us as we're getting started. And today, like I said earlier, we're talking about keeping up with the Joneses. We have a lot of stuff going on in social media and celebrity news that relates to keeping up with the Joneses as far as finances is concerned, as far as our romantic relationships are concerned, honey. And if we have time, also we're going to talk a little bit as far as aesthetics is concerned. So go ahead and do us a favor and share this live out to your people so we can get the people in the room, honey, to come and play and have a good time with us.
Yeah,
All
I
right,
think
friend.
everyone is going to enjoy this particular conversation today because I think that consciously and unconsciously we're all influenced, which I think is great. I think influence is great. I think making decisions for external reasons can be dangerous, and so we're going to talk about both.
Hmm. And we definitely want you guys to chime in on the conversation. You guys know this is a safe space. We are definitely going to talk about our experiences with this. We both, I'm sure, have fallen victim to it, and it's all a learning experience right now. So we definitely want you guys to share your experiences with keeping up with the Joneses. So, friend, you want to start us off with our rapid fire question?
Yeah, so guys, this is something that Yulante and I started to do just to get us talking as well as give you all an opportunity to get to know us differently. So a lot of you guys know us in these streets. You all are our friends. Family, all of the things. But sometimes when you are able to probe each other with some thought provoking questions, you get to know a person a little better. And so we started this uh, check in, kind of friend check in, rapid fire questions. But because of the time, we're going to keep it to one this time. And so just to get the conversation started, the rapid fire question that we're going to do today is, what is one thing you've done just to keep up? And so we want you guys to put your answers in the chat as well. What is one thing that you've done to keep up? And at the time, Yolante, you knew it was ridiculous when you were doing it, but you did it anyway.
Mm. So my keeping up with the Joneses, I won't. I don't know if I would say it was ridiculous, but whatever. I'll never say any of my foolishness is ridiculous. It's all a learning lesson, and
Yes.
I've grown from it. So the thing that I did was a couple years ago, and friend, you remember this. I went to New Orleans for the first time for the Essence Festival, and it was my first time, going. And guys know I'm in this space of content creator, influencer, moving into coaching, all the things. And so my brand is really important to me. And I wanted to make sure that I was aligned with my brand. And so, most of us who know what the Essence Festival is, it's one of the largest music cultural festivals in the country. And Essence has always, at least historically, been this place where those and Leo knows this better than I do. It's kind of this place where those who are more affluent or have more access to means, that's kind of been one of their playgrounds initially. And so it's that idea, I think, has always been in the back of my mind to make sure that when I show up, right? And for me, showing up was to make sure that I looked good in all sense of the words, and that included having on some name brand stuff. Now, I know that that's not ideal. It is what it is. I was purchasing items specifically for Essence, and I wanted to make sure that those items read a certain way, and that included having some luxury things. So I remember purchasing um it's a bag, it's a YSL bag, and I know I need it because I was going to be walking around the forum for not the show, but the all the activations and things they had
Mhm.
going on. I wanted to have a crossbody. So I had spent all this time looking for a crossbody, but I was like, it has to be name brand. It has to be name brand. So I ended up purchasing this YSL leopard bag, and it was costly. It was a pretty penny. I won't say it set me back, but it was not something that I had to purchase, and it definitely wasn't something that it just wasn't necessary.
I understand.
I get yeah, I forgot that, hello B, you are
I
that girl.
am the
You don't
moment.
none of the right, none of the accoutrements, none of the accessories, none of the things that you add are going to do what you need them to do. And it's so funny. There were so many people that stopped me. So many people thought I was somebody, and I am somebody, but you know what I mean? They thought I was somebody famous or celebrity influencers, lots of things. People were just stopping me, looking at me, staring. It was a lot of that going on. And again, this was a couple of years ago. So I have to remember, and we all have to remember, when you are in your femininity and in your confidence and who you are authentically in your purpose, none of the stuff that we add on to ourselves is going to it's not going to make a difference. And while I do appreciate my little bag, because I do get a lot of wear out of her now, it was definitely one of those things that I knew, especially now on my healing journey, I knew it was something that it wasn't purchased for the right reason.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
purchased because I wanted to. It was a status symbol, and it's so funny. It's actually they call it luxury signaling. I didn't know that's what that term was. When I researched, it's called luxury signaling, and it's basically this need to show your value through your possessions. And I am valuable. I don't need possessions to do that. I could wear, honey, a brown paper bag on my head, and people still gonna be like, who is that under there? So anyway, that's my thing that I did. Not to say that you shouldn't treat yourself to luxuries and indulgences, but not doing them for the right reason is where you have to take pause. So that's my friend.
Absolutely. Um, well, yes, of course. You know, I tell you this all the time, how
Mhm.
valuable you are, not only to
Thank
me
you,
but to so
friend.
many others. Again, I was sharing
Mhm.
this with you earlier, but someone shared with me today, while I was
Mhm.
on the road, um, just how valuable these conversations has been in her
Yes.
life,
Yeah.
and I want to, again, I say this to you often, but I want to say thank you for sharing your space and your time, not only with me, with so many others. I was
Man.
surprised to know that this person had been watching, because they don't talk to us in the chat. And so when she mentioned it to me today, I was like, oh, you watching? And anytime anybody tells me that they're watching, I actually kind of blush, because I absolutely consider this to be our personal conversations that we just happen to be having
Yes.
publicly. And so
Yes.
whenever somebody says that, I always blush. But she really like broke down all of our episodes, and how it what it meant to her, and
Mhm.
how much the community that we're forming together. And although we both have individual communities,
Yeah.
it's been so valuable. So you are valued, but I mean, rock the YSL too. I love all the foolishness. And so yes, 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 yes. So
Yes
I'll
and
answer the
yes.
same question. So the one thing that I have done just to keep up, and I knew it was ridiculous at the time, because to your point, I don't have anything to prove, particularly in my career, is
Mhm.
that I stayed in my career lane a little too long, even though I had outgrown it, which turned, and everybody knows that I love marketing and communications,
Yeah.
but when you stay in a space too long, it becomes performative.
Mm.
And
Mhm.
I knew that it was time to pivot. I know that it is time to pivot. But I think that it's been a safe space for me. It's something that I can do the back of my hand. I mean, I was just having a conversation with someone over the weekend. They were asking me a question about some programming that they had just done and how to extend it. And I basically wrote out like a whole plan for them on text thread. Like, okay, do this, do this, do this. And they called me immediately and was like, I was just asking your opinion about something. I didn't know I was going to get a whole plan. And I was like, oh, I was just sharing my top level thoughts. And she was like, well, if that was top level, I don't understand what this would look like if it was more. And because I've been doing this for such a long time, it's become very much my comfort zone, my
Mhm.
comfort blanket. And again, that feels really performative to me. And it's also a space that I've been successful in. But the fact is that one thing I know about God is that he don't really switch up a lot. If he
Mhm.
blessed you in this area, he'll bless you in that area too. And it's been a situation where I've been questioning how much I really trust God and how much I really trust me, right? And it's become a little performative. And so that whole keeping up thing has trickled into my career a little bit, if I'm being honest.
Okay. Thank you, friend.
Yeah.
All right, and we got some people chiming in here, and we love and appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so much
Yes, we
for
love it. We
being
love it.
here with us on this good Sunday. Um, let me see who we got. Let me see who we got in here, guys. I got a couple screens going on, so
Yeah,
please
me too. Me too.
look in here doing the most, but it's okay. Y'all know Leo and I are gonna have our own production team soon. Hey Ethel. Ethel, you are so sweet. Oh my God. Thank you so much. She's one of my former makeup students, and she's showing me some love, and I appreciate it. Hey Nicole, Denise Nicole said it is conspicuous consumption. Latoya Perry, my baby, is on here.
Hey,
Thank you so much for
Latoya. Hey,
coming.
Nicole.
Yeah. Yes.
And then on my
Um,
side, I have a couple people too. Dr.
okay.
Collymore is over here with me. And then Lori Jones is also over here with me as well. I'm looking
Very
at both
good.
of our screens.
I love it. I love it. And then we got Shanitria. Hey, Sora. And Rita is also
Hey,
on here.
Soror.
So, yes, listen, guys, don't be afraid. This is a safe space. Drop it in the chat. Let us know any experiences you have where you have tried to keep up with the Joneses. Y'all know we love a good Kiki Key, and we're
Girl,
not
love
laughing
a
at you,
Kiki.
honey. We laughing with you because, baby, we have done it. Okay, and I'm sure we've done it more times than we care to admit. But
Yeah, yeah.
it is
It
what
it
it
it,
is.
it can actually become self conscious, and then you say,
Mhm.
"Oh, well, I was just being influenced." When you got
Yeah,
to
for
do a
sure.
little self check.
Absolutely. All right. So you guys know one other thing that Leo and I like to do. We like to call this Leo and Lante approved. Is when we share our
I love it. I love
beauty,
that
glow
name.
up, fragrance, and of course you do because you came up with it. Don't do this.
Did I?
Uh,
Did
yes.
I?
Um,
This is
where
cute.
we share the products and the things that make us smile, that make us happy, and that, of course, we cannot gatekeep and keep from you all. So we have to share them with you all. And so, friend, are we doing fragrance and a product, or just which are we doing one or the other, or one? What are we doing? Because I have
Um,
two ready, but
I actually have a fragrance and a product ready. I don't know if we have enough
okay.
time. I know we started a little late, but I can actually my product and my fragrance they complement each other, so they pretty much are the same thing.
Be fast. So this is actually I'm gonna do my fragrance. This is actually a gift from Leo, and as you can see, she is almost done. When I say I have a swig in here, this is Nishane, and this is 100 Silent Ways. Now, again, you guys know Leo in our relationship is that a fragrance nemesis, but we play
She don't
fragrance
pay.
nemesis because
She don't listen.
I don't listen because we are very completely different in what we like as far as fragrance is concerned. But lately, Leo and I both have been venturing on the wild side. This is one of those fragrances Leo gifted to me, and it is beautiful. It's a vanilla scent. It is amazing. It's not plain. It's not childish. It's not simple. It is something that is beautiful on its own, and it is also a very great, to use Leo's words, layering scent. So if
Mhm.
you are interested in this scent, definitely check it out. 100 Silent Ways by Nishane. Love
Let
it.
me tell you about that fragrance. Um, So I am a person who wears probably what would be considered to be offensive fragrances. Like my fragrance walk
Mhm.
into the door before I get in. That's just how I that's just
Mhm.
y'all see the
Mhm.
jewelry, y'all see all the things, right? And
Right.
so I am a it hits you in the mouth with your fragrance uh girl.
Yeah.
Very, very sultry, very, very sexy. But that fragrance right there in my opinion, is one of those universal fragrances that everybody likes. You could never offend a person. You just smell
Yep.
universally good.
Yep.
It is one of those things that if you are just getting into niche fragrances and you want to understand the journey of top, middle, and bottom notes, you get
Mhm.
that. It's just one of those just universal fragrances that work for everyone. No one will be offended by what you smell like because I've actually choked a couple of people with my fragrances before. Now
Oh,
I don't mind it, but if you a person who minds it and are self conscious about that kind of stuff, Nishane 100 Silent Ways is a fragrance to go with. It smells really really good, but it's not juvenile in any way.
yeah. Yeah,
I really really like
absolutely.
that
And
fragrance.
I'm grateful. Thank you, friend. And I will be purchasing more. Thank you for so much for my gift.
You are
All
welcome.
right, Kendra. Hey, Kendra is on here. Kendra said, "Been there, done that." I know that's right, honey. We don't all, honey, try to keep up with the Joneses, and it's hard keeping up, baby.
Hey
All
Kendra.
right.
Okay,
Oh, sorry,
so
friend.
I'm going to
Mhm.
do both of mine actually together because
Okay.
this is a candle set by Maison Mason Margiela, right? And we've
Mhm.
seen these all in these fragrances in Sephora. We've seen them in, I think they are available in Bloomingdale's, in Neiman Marcus. Really,
Mhm.
really luxury fragrance line, but also pretty attainable, which is one of the reasons why I like it. But what this
Yeah.
set is a candle set and it has three different candles in it. And one of the things that I like about it is that these are slow burning candles, but they smell
Mhm.
just like the fragrances. And so
Oh,
this
yes.
is by the fireplace. This is which has kind of like a chestnut roasting by the fire accord to it. This is Lazy Sunday. This is probably the most floral and clean scent. I have this in my bathroom. And then this is Jazz Club, which is also a sultry scent. And all of these come in a fragrance. And this is the fragrance that I'm actually wearing today. And I've been wearing this all week.
Mm.
I've been very much in this fall chestnut, spicy roasting space right now. And so this is this candle right here. So this is a
Oh,
fragrance of
that's
this.
good.
And I really, really love this set. Now this set retails for $150 for all three candles, but I got this from Marshalls, and I got it for
Really?
$65. Yep.
Shut your
So
mouth.
definitely
Full size candles?
full size candles. So definitely check your favorite TJ Maxx, Marshalls. You can get some, you can get some cheapy things that'll fall apart on you sometimes from those spaces, from those
Hmm.
resellers. But you can also get some really good things from those spaces as well. So this is this
Yeah.
candle set right here, and it's really gotten me in my fall feelings.
I love that so much. Oh, I love that's a good Christmas gift, friend. Even
Yeah,
if
that
you
was.
were to break listen, the efficient part of me is like, oh, you could break that up, honey. It's three different gifts right there, child. Please. Sorry. I need to focus. The holidays are upon us, y'all. Y'all know what happens November 1st. I know some people wait till after Thanksgiving, but some of us, i.e., my sister Ivy, if she's on here, we talking about you, honey. We hit Christmas time as soon as Halloween is over, baby. We
Yes,
ready.
me too. Me too. I'm definitely
Yes.
gonna put my tree up next week
So
for
excited.
sure.
Hey, Marvelous. Marvelous says she is listening to us while she rides through this mini hurricane.
Marvelous. I
I know
just
that's
got
right.
out of it. Yes, she
Yes.
is not lying. It is pouring. Be careful, sis.
And hey, Cheryl. Thank you guys so much. All right, so friend, we're gonna go ahead and I guess we'll get started with today's topic.
Yeah, let's get into it.
Yeah.
Let me read this comment from Lori Jones though. She said her
Hmm.
uh one of the things that she's done to keep up is getting into major debt in her 20s and
Hmm.
30s, but baby, she is grown now. She
Yes.
says she's A Jones, is not trying to keep up with herself,
Hey,
which
period.
I hear you.
I love that. I love that. I know that's
And then
right.
Trinette, I don't know if she's hazing me in here. She said, I want my whole set, okay? So I guess that's to me to say she needs the candle set. Yes, big sister almighty, I got
Period. I know that's right,
you.
friend. And I'm gonna go ahead and haze her too. I would like my whole set, please and thank you. So
Yeah,
go on and prance your back behind back down to that Marshalls and go
to
on and
that
get it. Please
Marshalls.
and thank you.
You know what? I didn't realize just how many fragrances I have bought you over the years. I'm really a hazer because I'm like, no, you're going to love this.
And I haven't got you one because I don't want to hear your mouth. So I'd rather just give you a gift card or something else. But
I
yeah, we're
don't
not
know.
doing that.
It's one of those things that's really based on pride. Like, no, I'm going to make you love this. I'm going to put this in your hair.
And
No,
Ivy's
I know
here.
better than
Ivy
you.
said me three too. Also, yeah, for sure. You know, sister, y'all know sister that I call her the Black Martha Stewart, honey. She is the queen of Palm Beach and the queen of the holidays. So we get excited when my sister gets ready. Hey,
Yeah.
Taretha.
I was really whining to her the other day. I was like, "So, are you ever coming back with the content?" She was like, "Leo, I need to edit 3 videos." I was like, "Okay, I didn't want to,
Yes.
press too much." But I was like, "Are you gonna ever?" Um,
Yeah, come
please,
back to us. I'm
just
lucky.
wondering.
I have proximity, so at least I get to go see it in person. I'm not gonna. I ain't. That's
She,
not a brag. I
I'm,
just,
I don't care what you say because I'm waiting for my room over there. I was like, I will move in. I have no shame in overreaching. Yes, can I live
I
here? Thank you.
like it.
All right, so
All right,
let's get
fam.
into our hot topics.
Okay.
So first and foremost, we are going to talk about, again, we're talking about overall keeping up with the Joneses. You might say keeping up with the Kardashians. It might even be keeping up with your neighbor next door. For some
Mhm.
folks, keeping up isn't just pressure; it's performance. It's a
Mhm.
full blown lifestyle from celebrities and reality stars to the neighborhood it girl. We're watching people blow the bag just to look like they have it and then lose everything trying to hold
Mhm.
up that mask. So let's use a couple of examples here. We know very recently, this is a very recent example. Wendy Osefo, she is a professor, Yulante. She got 4 degrees. She has book deals, beauty, and brains. Yet after just one season on the Housewives of Potomac, sis got her new breasts, she got a new wardrobe, and then that came with a new level of pressure because the world does not appreciate intellect as much as it appreciates image. Now, she and her husband just 2 weeks ago are now facing 33 counts of
Mhm.
insurance fraud, totaling $450,000, almost a
Mm.
$500,000 worth of insurance fraud. Now, Yolante, we're talking about one of the smartest women on that cast, and she still got caught up on proving that she belongs through material assets. We also
Mhm.
have T Pain. He admitted years ago that he blew through $40 million.
Girl.
40
Girl.
million. He said
Mm.
himself, this is not anything that we're making up. He said, I bought cars I couldn't drive, jewelry I didn't need, houses I didn't even visit. And at the end of the day, I was sitting in a dark room because I forgot to pay the phone bill, pay the light bill. Tony Braxton also filed bankruptcy twice. And we remember that infamous, if y'all are old enough, y'all probably not old as me, but you remember that infamous Oprah interview that she did, that she when she
Mhm.
got dragged, when Oprah said, I don't even have Gucci silverware and I'm Oprah Winfrey. And Tony Braxton was sitting there talking about having filed for bankruptcy, trying to keep up with with a particular lifestyle. And Yolante, last but not least, we have just last week Kevin McCall, who is Eva Marcel's father of Eva Marcel's daughter. He's a producer and a rapper. He once was worth $8 million, and last week he broke down in tears, saying that he's now living off of EBT. He
Mm.
admitted he lost his home. He had to move back in with his grandmother and wasted millions buying into an image that never paid him back. Yolante, we got to talk about this. Let's talk
Yeah.
about the pressure to wear your worth on your back, because when success becomes a costume and a lifestyle, that lifestyle becomes a lie. What is the price of keeping up?
So I'll say this. Y'all know how I approach things. I have a very, very specific lens through which I look at a lot of things. And I always am going to go through the lens of wounds, because I'm again becoming trauma informed. And so I do understand our I'll call it needs to keep up with the image, especially because they are in the industry. I think the big thing that most of us have to remember, and this is just a really quick thing I want to say, is that the sad part of all of this is that most of us are keeping up with the Joneses, but the Joneses is keeping up with the Ramses, and the Ramses is keeping up with
Mm,
the whoever's. You know what I'm saying? It's all an illusion. None
yeah.
of for most of us, none of it is really real, because what I've noticed is that true wealth and people with true wealth and luxury and an understanding of it, they don't really flaunt it like that. You know what I mean? They don't do that. And so what we are seeing is just this idea of just trying to keep up with it. And it's really sad because none of it, we're all just trying to keep our heads afloat. I'll never forget when Housewives of Atlanta first came out, and Nene, honey, Lanithia Leaks, honey, she was
Period.
on there. And because at the beginning, honey, she was Lanithia.
Uh,
And
Very
I will
much.
never forget this famous episode where she was cutting up, doing her Nene thing. And she had gone somewhere and she was in like a Nissan Murano. And it was a really quick clip of a scene of her driving off, but she wasn't in her Range Rover or Benz or, her whatever they drive, Rolls Royce or whatever it was that car. And I don't know if that was a mistake in like editing in the end,
Right.
but
Like, don't show this. I just
yeah,
got to
don't
get
show
home.
this, but it was one of those things that people offline talked about. And then we also
Mm,
heard about Nene, because she's one that's always saying how rich she is. So that's why I'm referencing her. And they talked about how, Greg went into debt, her now late husband,
yeah.
went into debt just to be able to create this image for her so that she would be able to kind of fit the mold or the image of a housewife. And so it that part I think is really unfortunate. But again, back to the wounds. When I look at it, I always think about and I'm y'all will see me looking up and down at my notes. A lot of our spending habits come from different places, obviously. But the ones that interest me the most are the ones that come from wounds, money wounds. Because when we think about generational healing and wounds and that kind of thing, y'all, it's not just really, it doesn't just affect our relationships with other people, it affects our relationships with money. And so a lot of stuff that we do as far as habits with money is related to generational conditioning. So, you know, scarcity mindset, you guys hear people use that term a lot. And I know that our parents and our grandparents really conditioned us with that, because when we come from a group of people, black and brown people, that didn't have much, and we were limited to what we had access to. And so we would hear our parents say things like, you know, money don't grow on trees, and we can't afford that, and you got to save your money up, and all of that kind of stuff. And so that creates these mindsets to us. And now we're in a generation, because we have access to it, we have, you know, more access to money than say our parents did. We, now that pendulum swings, right, it goes in the complete opposite direction, and now we just go ham, right? And
Mhm.
so you know, we want to prove that we're no longer broke, we're no longer struggling. And you know, and so and that creates an issue. Another issue that we don't think about is generationally. Our parents grew up in a time of respectability politics, right? And so you had to look a certain way in order for people to respect you, and in order for you to have access to certain rooms. And so that has kind of that is still, that, you know, that residue still lingers with us, where we feel like we have to look a certain way in order for people to take us seriously and all the things. And so, you know, whether it's jewelry, handbags, cars, or houses, which, you know, we're seeing on social media, um you know, it's really not, we are finding ourselves having to prove to people um that we are worthy. And that's where the kicker is being able to show people you're worthy without having to do it with material things. So yeah, that subconscious belief is still there. And I think what really sucks is that our parents and our grandparents worked so hard for the things that they have, and they couldn't, I won't say they couldn't really enjoy it, but they couldn't really enjoy it, because they kind of, a lot of them went to the grave with having all this money saved up for a rainy day, because they wanted to be safe. Instead of me, I'm not saying ball till you fall, but you know, I'm saying that we, this generation, I think now gets to enjoy it now. I think we just have to we have to resist the impulse to show it off. And again, I'm not saying don't enjoy your money, because I'm one of those people that's like, we're not doing this, we not work, I don't work hard at the school district of Palm Beach County just to not enjoy myself. I think that's totally ridiculous. But we got to remember that we got to find a balance. We got to find a balance between indulgence and being frugal, I guess. Yeah, so that's pretty much what my point is, friend, at least one of them anyway.
Well, I want to lean into this gender and race dynamics of
Hmm.
keeping up. I don't want to rush past that, because I do think it's a real thing. For
Yeah.
some women, luxury isn't always about vanity, it's about buffering against a bias. We all know
Hmm.
better than most that sometimes we have to look like success before we open up our mouths,
Yeah.
particularly in rooms that haven't always been open to us. I have been the only Black woman in several rooms, particularly when I was first starting off my career. And that comes with this pressure
Yeah.
to justify your worth. Now,
Hmm.
I've always been one that says there's not very many people who can compete with my resume, right?
Mm. Period.
I put my resume down and my work speaks for itself. But at the
Hmm.
same time, you got to get into those rooms to put the resume down.
Mm.
And that's unfortunate. And I think that Black women, unlike most, are extremely conscious of the fact that we have to prove while we're in a room
Yeah.
before we can prove that we are justified in being in that room, that we didn't just get here
Yeah.
because we opened up our legs, we didn't get here just because of a pretty face, but our work speaks for itself. But unfortunately, I think that we all know that there are oftentimes we are placed in positions where we have to justify why we're there and what is on our backs our skin glowing, our outfit being snatched. It sometimes it proves our worthiness, not only in the boardroom, but even
Mm.
in a restaurant. Before
Yeah.
we walk into a restaurant, I've seen people walk into restaurants behind me that have on flip flops and shorts that don't look like me, but I feel the need to have to prove to you, hey, I'm supposed to be there before you call the police on me. So
Mhm.
a lot of times, these degrees, these designer clothes, even curated relationships, they are a means to protect us so that we are not mislabeled.
Yeah.
However, this comes with a very expensive, not only uh, financial consequence, Yolante, but
Mhm.
there's an emotional consequence to this, a spiritual and a psychological consequence that can be very draining. I recently heard this week Bernard Kinsey. He is a philanthropist and a businessman who actually happens to be from here, but he has worked at a number of different companies throughout the United States, and now is a huge, huge philanthropist, and just had a building named after him at FAMU. And during that speech, he said something that has stuck with me since I heard it last week. He said that if your vision for life is measured by status, your upkeep will be your downfall. If
Mm.
your vision for life is measured by status, your upkeep your upkeep will be your downfall. Basically, what he was saying is that if you build your life based on what it looks like and not the fact that it just feels good to you, you will end up being disconnected from the truth, and you will be exhausted trying to keep up with that illusion.
Mm.
Um, I understand this protecting ourselves from some of the tropes that have been placed on us unfairly. This We're over sexualized. We're angry Black women. We're loud and we're ghetto and all of those things. However, like you said, playing this respectability politics, if we're not careful, Yolante, will turn into us becoming anti-Black, because then we start doing this "I'm not one of them" thing,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
I'm not
Mhm.
one of those reality people. I'm not one of those loud women. See, I have on the proper clothing. See, I have on the proper jewelry. I have the proper smell, all of the things. And you could very easily end up with this respectability politics, but again, this whole idea of almost close to being anti-Black. But
Mhm.
here's the truth, and I'll leave it here: you cannot outdress racism.
Right.
You can't out designer someone stereotyping you. When your identity is tied to what you have, you become hostage to having it. You
Yep.
have to keep having it, and I think that that is the thing that Wendy Osefo has found herself in,
Mhm.
where what she had wasn't enough. So she had to get more and more and more. And now she finds herself facing 33 counts of what could be very, very heavy felony charges.
Yeah.
Um, you lose your center, and you become very close to being inauthentic because you're not being true to yourself. So I know that I kind of was a hypocrite in a sense that I understand it, but I still think it's crazy. I
Yeah.
understand how it happens, but I still think it's very, very dangerous. And you have to, and I think Yolante, we're both of us are very, very good at doing self-talk. And I think that it is important that you constantly ask yourself, why am I doing this? What am I doing this for? What is the motive behind this? And if you don't, I believe that this life can be very, very difficult because of some very, very poor choices. And my heart goes out to her, because I think it's going to be very difficult for her to get out of this situation
Yeah.
because of some very poor choices.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's see what we got going on in this chat. Danielle, hey honey. Danielle said truth. Oh, hey Rita. Rita said my pastor did a series on approval addiction. Ooh, I love that. Nicole, Denise, yep, respectability politics. Hey Brianna, my loopy girl said good evening. Taretha said true. And Brianna quoted your soundbite, friend. You cannot outdress racism. And Nicole said, right, none of that will save you. And one thing, and I love that what you said,
Yeah,
because
definitely.
I have found myself, I'm like, I don't know if I'm being rebellious or what, but I say this all the time. I now understand just how important it is to remain authentic to yourself, especially now I'm talking about with regards to racism and skin color. And I just don't understand why we are still trying to seek approval and validation from white people. I don't get it. I
Mm-hmm.
don't understand it. Everything that we know about who we are as a group of people and how we have been copied and how people look at us to set all sorts of trends, and in even being in rooms with some of them and understanding just how mediocre some of them are, and that they
Ooh,
still are the ones that are in positions of power. I think what I took from what you said, friend, is that I really just need us to stop trying to pander to them and seek validation from them. When people used to say, you can't show out in front of company, we got to keep everything to ourselves and all this kind of stuff.
mm-hmm.
I don't care about what Paul thinks. Like, I just
Mm-hmm.
he what I don't, who are you? Why are you here? Why are you even in this conversation? So let's please stop. Like, I don't think that they get to validate us at all. At all.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, their lens is definitely quite foggy, right?
Yeah,
And looking at us through their lens is always going to be warped.
absolutely. Absolutely. Taretha said who or what I'm trying to prove something to, period. That part. And Brianna said exactly. Yeah, like, oh my God, they are so mediocre sometimes, and I hate it. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous. And why am I trying to prove myself? Anyway. Okay. All right. Leo said a couple of things that she actually brought up when we talk about self-talk and asking ourselves questions. So that's going to be part of what I wanted to talk about next. you know, I mean, I think we all know that spending money we don't have in order to keep up appearances and all that things is just not something we should do. And I think we all know that we all people at some way, shape, or form do it. And so I guess again, when I look at things from a healing perspective, I still want to give things that have helped me on my healing journey. And so this is the part that I wanted to definitely share with you guys. There are some rules that I have had to learn to live by because honey, your girl, she don't do the right thing sometimes when it comes to money. Um you guys know I luxury is my baby. Luxury is my baby. And sometimes I get I forget or don't necessarily understand what luxury is, right? And so I've had to come up with some rules to help me change my mindset on certain things. So one of the first things that I always have to do is now awareness. That story I told you guys at the beginning about Essence, because that I think I was starting my real serious healing journey. That was the first time that I had really consciously made a decision to do something that I knew wasn't right. And ever since then I told myself that I wasn't going to do that again. And so the first thing to that I do now when I'm especially when I make large purchases is I'm always in a constant state of awareness. And so because if you are intentional and aware about what you're spending your money on, especially large purchases, it's going to disrupt your impulse buying because we can do that too, right? So my whole question goes back to what Leo said. Everything I do, not just when it comes to money, who I date, who I spend time with, what I do with my time is always why. Why? That's the question of Yolante's life, right? So if I always ask, why am I doing this? So when it comes to money, why am I doing this? Why am I about to, before I swipe this card, why am I making this purchase? Why am I buying this thing? Right. So that's that awareness piece. Is it something I ask myself several questions? Is it something I truly want? Um, is it going to add value to my life or change my life? Because sometimes, because I work in the content creation influencer space, and because my image is affects could affect brand deals, or it could affect the rooms that I'm allowed access to, then yes, certain purchases are going to be necessary. It's like, it's a tax write-off at the end, right? So I have to ask myself, is it going to make my life better? Okay. Will I get a lot of uses out of it? Because I'm a Capricorn, y'all know I'm practical. If I can't get but one use out of it, that's not a good purchase for me unless it's something I have to buy, right? Um, is it going to make my life easier or more efficient? Am I buying it to make me feel good temporarily? That's the big thing right there, right? Am I trying to feel avoid? Because that's where that whole, what is that thing with that term? Y'all put it in the chat. I can't think of the name of it when we do like emotional shopping or something like that.
Mhm.
Um, and am I buying it because I want to be perceived a certain way by other people? So especially again when it's a big purchase, I'm asking myself those questions. So that's my first step, right? My second step is, and I've had to do this, and shout out to my friend Roxy, because she is really she and I have a lot of conversations about what luxury it really is. And so I know that I am, and I hope I'm doing this on my platform, is redefining what luxury is. Luxury is not what didn't have to be me buying that expensive behind YSL bag, right? Luxury could just been me buying a really cute leopard bag that just was super dope and whatever, but was of high quality. So to me, luxury is about freedom, it's about peace, and it's about feeling good. Those don't have to come with an expensive price tag, right? So one, it could be me, y'all know I'm good for this, it could be me sleeping in on a Saturday, it could be me moving, having a slow morning, moving around slowly, it could be me drinking tea out of a fancy cup instead of me going and spending my money at Starbucks every day because it looks good to walk in somewhere with a Starbucks cup. Right. So I think redefining what luxury is going to be really, really, or at least it's been really good for me in how see how I spend money and how I feel about how I spend money. Balance, of course, y'all know balance is the key. So I'm not saying we shouldn't spend money. I do think we need to strive for a balance again between, like I said earlier, between indulging and being frugal. Um, and number three, and this is where I want to share. Y'all know I love sharing books that I'm reading with you all. So I'm really big on scarcity mindset and manifestation and all of that kind of, y'all know that's my woo talk. And so we have to start researching and understanding where this stuff comes from. And so I just want to share a couple of books with you guys real quick. And y'all can get these books from your local library. You do not have to go purchase them. You don't even have to buy them on Kindle. I got put on to this by the guidance counselor at my school. The Mandel Public Library has millions and gazillions of books that you can read for the free, ebooks, audiobooks, DVDs, music, everything. So I have, y'all, I can't tell y'all how many books I done read. So I'm going to share this one with you all. This is a really good book. It's called The Psychology of Money. All right. Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. So check them out. This book is available for you to read. And what I like about it is that it definitely talks about where our spending habits come from, all these things that affect us, and it gives lessons to teach us, to help us about, learning how to spend our money, I guess, quote unquote, more wisely. So, and then I think the last thing, guys, is that we have to, especially those of us who have influence, right? We have to make it okay and set the example for people to understand that they don't have to keep up with the Joneses. We are responsible for that. We are responsible for showing people that, you can embody luxury, but it doesn't necessarily have to be attached to a price tag, right? So those are my things that's step number 4 is where I'm at now, is making sure that on my platforms that I'm showing people you don't have to have, a Gucci belt or Louis belt or whatever attached to what you're doing. People know I am luxury. People know how I operate and how I move, how I treat myself, and what I do with my company is luxury. So that's it. That's my Easter speech. All right.
That was so good, friend.
Thank you. All right.
Yes,
And
and
Toya, thank you, Toya. Toya said intentional living, definitely. Please, that's key. That's key, Toya. You hit the nail on the head. It's really about being intentional. Because if you're not being intentional, why are you doing it? And that's where the problem, I think, lies. So,
I do want to very quickly before we go into the next keeping up topic is I wanted to hone in on you talking about the brand deals,
Mhm.
right? Because I come from the marketing and communications world. I give brand deals. I
Let
understand
me one
brand
friend.
deals.
Yeah.
I am a branding queen.
Yes.
And one of the things that I have to I have to expose is that the people that you are following, there is some smoke and mirrors behind all of
Mm.
that. Marketing is all about smoke and mirrors. Not that it is a lie, but it absolutely is staged, right? It's curated, it is crafted. And one of the things that unfortunately you don't recognize behind the wardrobe halls, the five-star villas that are being gifted, the glam teams, the constant upgrades, what you don't see is those individuals maxing out their credit
Yep.
cards, right? What you don't see is that uh, the items for the content sometimes are being bought and returned.
Period.
What you don't see is that sometimes the brand deals are, and you said this earlier, Yolante, they're tax write-offs or they're getting them for free. That was one thing that, especially when I worked in Portland, directly with the Jordan brand, I could go into a closet and get you anything, right? You're not paying for those sneakers. You're not doing any of those things. Them things right behind me in the closet, full of product that I'm sending out to individuals for a brand deal to get you to then purchase those for $300 or $400, right? They got that stuff for free, or if they bought it, they're writing it off.
Yeah.
If you are not organized as an LLC or an S corp, or however it is your corporation is set up, and you can't write that stuff off, that is hitting your bank account. I'm sorry, your bank account.
Yeah.
And so the fact is that that individual is influencing you but not taking the hit themselves,
Yeah.
if that makes
Yeah.
sense. And so you got to know what's behind these brand deals. I want to give you guys a couple of receipts. There's this woman named Marlena Velez. She's on TikTok even right now. People seemingly have forgot. She positioned herself as a, and when I say position herself, this is self-proclaimed. When people say that they're influencers, that's not a term that you uh that other people give you. You give that to yourself.
Yeah.
Well, she is this TikTok influencer. She puts up a lot of aspirational fashion content today.
Mhm.
She was arrested out of Target for stealing hundreds of dollars worth of merchandise that she then went on her TikTok page and talked about purchasing, and got arrested for stealing that stuff um, out of Target. This is not something that I'm making up. You all can look it up. Is right there. And they actually showed the arrest of them coming to her house and arresting her. There is another influencer, very, very powerful, multi-million dollar scandal about misleading in their brand promotions, because you can't just say, oh, I did this and I did that, without putting up certain information to say that this is an ad or this is promotional content. That person got arrested. A guy named Chaira, um, because a lot of the brand and promotional deals that he was doing were illegal. You gotta know that these people are not invested in your well-being. They're getting a check. This is their job, and this is a great job. Influencer marketing, um, social media marketing, those are great, and they're great for people like me because we get a lot of return on investment without having to do a lot. Giving somebody uh, uh, $10,000 or $15,000 for a post is still cheaper than putting together a multi-million-dollar ad, and it gets more reach. So the fact is that it's not going away. Brands spend billions. When I say with a B, billions upon billions of dollars on social media and influencer marketing. So please don't think that I am discounting it. I understand it. It is important to our business, but you still have to understand the smoke and mirrors behind it. And what I would say is it's okay to be influenced, but also understand that the person who is talking about the product is still someone who you should understand is a salesperson. right? Put that salesperson hat on. You do it when you go into a car dealership. You know that they are willing and dealing. You got to understand that you should will and deal as well. And I will also say that we should invest more. This is Leontyne speaking as a 50-year-old. Invest more in the things that's going to give you a return on your investment, which is your health, your relationships, your purpose. None of these material things are actually going to give you back a true return except for the things that I just mentioned. So I did want to just talk about some of the smoke and mirrors and take the veil off of some of this because it's really not real. It's really not true.
I love that, and thank you, friend, because you gave, obviously, I'm in that world. I'm dibbling dabbling in that world, and so for you to give that I love when you give that sort of what we don't get to see. I love that. And Nicole said doing a TikTok haul with stolen merchandise is wild, diabolical,
It's insane. Insane.
diabolical, diabolical. Yeah, I love it. All right. So are we ready to move on, friend, to our next?
Yeah. So this is going to be one that's a little bit interesting, right? Because when you think about keeping up with the Joneses, right? When you think about keeping up with the Kardashians, I don't think that we oftentimes think about keeping up romantically, right?
Mhm.
So there's this difference between being in love and needing to be being in love and needing to be loved. So
Mhm.
this segment, Yolante, we're going to unpack how romantic relationships, especially public ones, how they have become this social currency for validation in a world that defines a woman's worth through her wifey status, right? Through that wifey status is how oftentimes women are still, even in 2025, still defined. Time and time again, we've seen women, not just famous ones, but all women, in some instances, we've seen some of these women who force partnerships just to prove that they are desirable, that they are worthy, and that they have been chosen. So, one of the examples that came to mind when I was thinking about this was Kenya Moore. She is a former Miss USA. She's been successful both in film, but more recently as a reality star. She has been however, constantly clown Yolante because of her because of the fact that she doesn't have a man, right? So we
Mhm.
all know that Kenya is been mouthy and she always has something nasty to say to people. But the thing that people always come back to her with is, "But you don't have a man. You got all this success, you got all
Mhm.
this mouth, but you don't have a man. You haven't been chosen." And I think that desperation for her to be chosen led to her toxic marriage with a man named Mark Daly, who that relationship couldn't have been about love because it was so quick. It in my opinion, it was more about being legitimized, and wanting to have that legitimacy within her life, right? So she was successful in every other area, but not in love. There's also Brandy Norwood. We all saw that time when she got pregnant out of wedlock.
Yeah.
She wound up lying and saying that she was married to this man, the father of her child, and it became a costume for the cameras. And the relationship ultimately plummeted because of the weight of that performance and not the partnership. But there is just this other example, Yolante, that I want to touch on. There was this woman named Isis Morales. She's known on TikTok, or was known on TikTok, as the new trophy wife. Isis had built uh, her whole social media persona on teaching other women how to be chosen by high value men. Would talk about how she was valued, she was a trophy wife, how her husband took care of her, all of the things. But in 2024, Yolante, she uploaded this tearful video alleging that her husband had R-worded her multiple times within the first week of their marriage. So all of this time that she had been talking to people on TikTok and showcasing this persona about being chosen by this high value man, she had been being assaulted by this man. What makes matters worse is also within that video, she talked about her two daughters being molested by this same man.
I
She
remember
had a
that.
facade, this facade of perfection, but her reality was truly a horror story. So Yolante, I want us to unpack this idea of keeping up romantically. Um, that almost being the most expensive expense of them all, because those types of choices take away your safety, but also your glow, your light, your goals. This is a very expensive decision for a woman to make, to stay in a relationship romantically for the aesthetics. So I want us to have this conversation about.
I'm gonna let you start this one off, friend.
Okay. All right. Um, All right. So where do I'm looking at my notes, guys, because I'm trying to figure out where I want to start first. I think that this is such a weighty conversation. And let me I want to start off here. I think I'm going to say something, Yolante, that I know is not easy to say out loud, okay? And be a little vulnerable. And I hope that the women in the chat allow me to do this, but also they will also provide their experience as well. There is a particular kind of quiet embarrassment that comes from being successful in every other area of your life, in your career, in your purpose, in your reinvention, in your friendships, but still not being successful in love. It hits harder when people see that you don't have that third thing or that fourth thing, right? Um you were able to choose in every other area of your life, but you were not chosen, right? You're not married, you're not booed up, you don't have the matching pajamas, the baby showers. There's a certain level of embarrassment, if you will, that could come from that because you are able to showcase and be validated in every other area except for this one. And it starts to play this psychological game with you that am I not worthy? Even though you've been worthy in all of these other areas, but society does not allow women to be validated in all of those other areas if you're not validated in your wifey status. Let's just be honest about that, right? Because that's supposed to be the pinnacle of success for women. You could have the job, you could have all of the YSL purses. You can have all the
Mhm.
things, but if you don't have the wifey status, you have not hit the pinnacle. You have not hit the highest mountain of accomplishment. Now, that's not the same for men, but that tends to be that thing for women. Um, but one of the things that I can say about myself, for those of you all who don't know me, in the chat or who will be listening later, I'm not married. I've never been married. I've been engaged twice, but I've never been married. Um, and I have been very successful in my career. I have been very successful in other areas of my life. And I would like to have a relationship, Yolante, but what I'm not willing to do is to be dumb. I'm
Mhm.
not willing to settle for what I consider to be the most important decision in my life, which is who I marry. And as a businesswoman, as a person who has had a business for over 20 years and who has run multi-million dollar businesses and helped one business in particular, the brand Jordan brand, go from $1 million business into $1 billion business, I can adamantly say I've been successful in one area, but I am not a dumb woman. And I can adamantly say that who you marry is the most important business decision that you make. It affects not only your business, but it affects your health, right? Because when you get into this legal relationship with this individual, that person can decide whether or not you live or die if you go to the hospital. This
Right.
is a
Mm.
very important decision. We vet individuals in our businesses more than we vet the person who can have legal access to our money, right? Even your business partner can't have legal access to all of your money, but your spouse can. And I think that we don't understand that although we want love, it also has to be right. We want to feel safe, but not understanding that who you are in relationship with is about your survival as well. Being with the wrong person is not a win. It is a death sentence. It is a death sentence to your vision, to your glow, to your light, to your dreams, also to your legacy. So what I want to end with is that in the embarrassment that you may feel with having other every other area of your life together is temporary, Yolante. But a bad relationship, that can be forever. That can affect you for the rest of your life, both in your health, in your business, financially, emotionally, physically. It is a very, very dangerous thing for you to be flippant in that decision. Um, I think I want to leave it there.
Okay. And we have a couple people who definitely chimed in on that. Nicole Denise saying if the goal is to be chosen, therein lies a problem. In her opinion, some women know their value and choose not to settle, so they are confident in knowing that, knowing what's for them. And you know, I honestly, if I'm being honest, I don't have a lot to say on this because I just understand. For me, everything goes back to love. And the one thing that I'm not going to look to social media for, to outside validation for, to all of these things that society says women are supposed to do and have by a certain age is listen. I'm not going to listen to society when it comes to love. You actually just said how essential and necessary it is for those things, for your partnerships to be important. So I'm not embarrassed by those things. I'm not embarrassed that I am 48 going on 49 years old and I don't have children. I'm not embarrassed by the fact that I'm not currently married. And it's so funny because I ask all of my friends and even women that I don't know about marriage and about children. And I will say the great majority of them say that they love their spouses and they love their children. But if they knew then what they know now, some of their kids might not be here and some of them might not be married to their spouses. And for some people that may sound real harsh, but as a woman who understands the I'm gonna try to say this delicately. As a woman who understands the responsibility that comes with children and the responsibility as a person who's taught thousands of children, right? I understand the responsibility of it. And as a person who's been in enough loving relationships and who is still cool with all of her exes, I understand that I'm more committed to myself. And again, this may sound selfish, than I am committed to the idea of society's perception of me supposedly being successful because I have a husband and children. That would never make me successful. So I determine success for myself, right? And so I don't want you, friend, to feel embarrassed, but I know that's you know, and I'm not even saying you feel embarrassed, but I, like you said, to use the word that people feel a quiet embarrassment. I just don't. In fact, I look at people and again, y'all, if you have kids, y'all know I love y'all. I'm not trying to say anything bad about having kids, but I look at y'all sometimes and I feel bad because I know the struggle of, for some of you, how your children have become your entire world and how your husbands have become your entire world. That's why I have the events that I have, because I know that for some of you there's this pressure. I feel more of a pressure. I feel like there's more of a pressure to make sure that this part of your life is perfect and taken care of than to make sure that you are taken care of. And I don't know if I'm just at a selfish stage in my life that I choose me first. And some people look at that and are like, that's selfish and all the things, but I just choose me first. And so I choose not to feel embarrassed about that. Um, I don't know. You get to define success for yourself. And for me, finding
Absolutely.
myself and knowing who I am, and also thinking back 20 years ago, if I had children, um, 20 years ago, child, them children, they'll be eating cereal every day. Like, girl, what? I don't even take care of myself fully in the best way that I can half the time. And now y'all want me to be responsible for these kids? No, thank you. Leave them where they at. Thank you, God. I love my nieces and nephews. I love, I get to have my thousands of children that I've taught through the classroom throughout the years, but I will never feel embarrassed about choosing myself first.
I
And I
want
know
to
that wasn't anything super, enlightening, but that's just me sharing you guys, getting you to know a little bit more about me. Go ahead, friend.
Well, I wanted to qualify what I meant when I said embarrassed or that quiet embarrassment. I can understand how frustrating it can be for women like a Kenya Moore, like a Tyra Banks, like a Tracy Ellis Ross, where you have everything together or perceive to have everything together except for this one area that society puts so much emphasis on, right? They determine a woman's worth by whether or not she is married, right?
Yeah.
And so being and there wouldn't be a term for it if people didn't qualify it, being unlucky in love, right? You're quote unquote lucky in every other area, but being unlucky in love has this embarrassment to it. That's one of the reasons why people are always having that dig, right? So you look at someone like a Oprah Winfrey, right? As successful as Oprah Winfrey is, right? She's a billionaire, she's a global icon, she's a living legend, right? But there's always this quiet whisper of, but she never got married. Tracy Ellis Ross being another one. She's so stylish. I love her. She's so
Mhm.
talented. She's so joyful. But there's always this underlying thought that she never got married, right? So she's successful and has everything together, including that great body, but she never got chosen. But then you have on the other side someone like a Aisha Curry, who we talked about a couple of weeks ago, where
Mhm.
she's a pretty young wife. She got the light skinned husband, and all of
Girl.
the things. But all she wants actually is to be validated outside of the shadow of her husband, like Oprah Winfrey is. And so I understand just the duality of those two, and how again people put so much more emphasis on you being successful. If you have a relationship, you could not be successful in business, you could not be successful in any other area of your life, but if you're successful in a relationship, if you got a man, then somehow it trumps everything else. And so that's what I mean when I say quiet embarrassment, that people tend to throw that in your face. But what one thing that I have learned as I've gotten older is that no one area validates me,
Yeah.
right? I am a total woman. There are so many aspects of who I am. I am a sister. I was a wonderful daughter. I love being a daughter.
Mhm.
I'm a friend. I'm a aunt. I am a sorority sister. I am a I'm a lot of different things. And when I become, or if I become a wife, I'll be hopefully wonderful at that too, and I won't kill them. Uh, I'm a,
You
I'm
won't.
a, I'm a total package, and I do think again that even though society puts so much emphasis, Yulante, on that one area, we have to again go back to that self talk and be clear about not allowing that emphasis to be placed on ourselves. Like, no, I'm a whole person, and even though I don't have this, I'm not checking off this one check box, I'm able to check off 15 others,
Yeah.
proudly check off 15 others. But I do think that society does do that, and there is some level of quiet embarrassment that comes along with not being able to have that optic. But again, I am not willing to be, and I have seen this, and I'd be curious to know if the chat has seen this too, where people have placed an emphasis on staying in relationships, in these performative relationships, in order to be able to check off that what society considers to be that important box as well. Have you seen that before, Yolante?
Um, yes, but I don't care. I just don't care. I don't I try not to live my life based on society standards. And I want to So let me address the real quick the comments, because the comments are actually going to help address your question. So because Nicole, Denise, and I clearly are vibing in on the right. We are not the right page, but we are on the same page right now. So Nicole Denise says, right. Society doesn't get to decide what's successful or embarrassing for me. Shanitria says that's good. Being unequally yoked is just not for biblical reference. And Nicole was talking about kind of some of the things that you were saying, friend, about society. That stand when she said this, that's what I was about to say, is that that stance is rooted in
Absolutely.
patriarchy. And Danielle said, I believe so as well. And so again, back to what you were saying about those all those women that you mentioned, the Oprahs, the Tracy Ellis Rosses, and all the many other women who are quite successful have been unapologetic.
Yeah.
And society, and when I say society, we have to say patriarchy, teaches us that
Yes.
we as women are supposed to be able to have children no matter the cost to us, no matter our freedom to us. Because let's be very clear, children cost you a certain freedom, and your husbands cost you a certain freedom. All of that's rooted in patriarchy. I cannot tell
Excuse
you
me.
that I just, for me, freedom is much more important to me.
Yeah.
And I don't have to have a ring to validate my success. And what's the point of having that ring to look successful to society when I'm sitting here in my bed at night slowly
Crying.
dying on the
Yeah.
inside,
Yeah.
right? Like
Absolutely.
crying on the inside. Like, to me, if I have to weigh, the lesser of two evils, or pick which one, I'm always going to again go back to choosing my happiness before I dare invite society's views on saying Yolante is not. Girl, I'm too fabulous. Nobody in their right mind would even say out of their mouths that I am not. What? Are you
Mm.
crazy? I'm too fabulous and too fly. It's just not the choice I made for myself. And I'm not going to let a male uh driven society tell me that I am not a good woman. That's what creates competition amongst women. That's what, has us being pick me's and choose me, and I'll silently suffer, and I'll go through all these things to prove myself to you so that you know that I am the perfect woman for you. You can go to hell. You can go to hell, sir. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Well,
Danielle,
what I
yeah, I believe so. And Roxy said, as a married person, I'm sad to know women are made to feel that way. Yeah, yeah.
Well, what I
Okay.
will say is that when relationships are beautiful, they should be uplifted and all of the things. What we're speaking about specifically are people who stay in relationships for the purposes of being validated, or to show their value,
Yeah,
to keep up with their next door neighbor, or to keep up with the Joneses. But one of the things that I will say is that you don't get bonus points in life for
yeah,
suffering through a relationship just so
yeah,
you can post a Valentine's Day couples photo. You don't. When
yeah,
you meet our heavenly Father, he's not going to give you any bonus points because you suffered and stayed in this relationship that choked his purpose for you out.
yeah,
Choked out your love and your uh very full cup. You don't get bonus points for suffering
yeah,
um in silence. And so for anyone that we have seen who have made choices in romance, for the aesthetics of it all,
yeah. That's
again, my heart goes out to you.
yeah.
But for me, I'm not willing to do that. I'm not willing to
Mm-mm.
be in a sinking ship just to be in a ship with a man. I'm just not willing to
Oh
do that.
God.
I'm just unwilling to
Mm.
do that. And I'm not saying that every relationship with a man will cause you to sink. I'm totally not saying that at all.
That's what
Because
you
baby,
said, friend. You gonna
no,
die.
row that ship, us, baby. Because I want to be in this. I want to be laid up in the ship, chilling. So I don't want to keep rowing my own boat. But I refuse to get in your boat with a hole in it just to say I'm in a boat with a man. I am
Yeah, we're not
completely
doing that.
unwilling to do that. And at 50 years old, what I will say at this point in my life, I've been successful in rowing my own boat. So I'm not willing that maybe when I was 20 and I didn't know if I could do it on my own, that would be one thing. But I've been successful in rowing my own boat. Do I
Yeah.
want to? not necessarily because I want to be lazy and sit and eat bonbons. But if I gotta roll my boat that is fully intact, that is fully paid for, I'll continue to row my own boat. I'm not getting in no holy boat with you, in no raggedy boat with you, just to say
You're
I'm in
going
one with you.
down. You're going down.
Nah, I'm not gonna drown. I'm
We're
not
not
gonna
doing
drown
that.
with you.
I love it. Here we go. This is Nicole. Nicole, listen, don't do this, girl. You know you play. We doing this, girl. Roxy says, "True, because most of the happy ones aren't posting anything." Listen,
Mhm.
friend. As
That's a
Leo
good
was
point.
talking, all I can. I have this. I don't. I have a discernment about people. I can look at you and I can tell what you got going on. And I cannot tell you how many times I've seen people on these, I'm not going to call them fake, but on these very curated relationships on social media.
Excuse
And
me.
I can look, especially at those men who are unhappy.
Not
I
in
can
their
see,
pajamas. Not in
yeah,
they
and
they in
because
Christmas
friend, you could
pajamas.
tell like how they talk to their wives. You
Oh
could tell
yes.
about how she's trying to coax him to come on, baby, pose for the camera and all this kind of thing, and he talking to her crazy,
Mhm.
and I could smell his disdain. I can smell his contempt for the relationship. Like there, to
Mhm.
me, there is nothing worse than to be in a relationship
With a person who
for the
don't
sake
like
of
you.
optics. I think that is the worst thing that you could possibly
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
I hate it. And Nicole Denise hit us with the scripture, baby. But what does it to profit a woman to gain the approval of the world and lose her soul? Because we're not doing that.
Yeah.
And I'm at a place now because I understand who I am and how I love myself, and I love what that means for my learning and my growing and my relationship with just everybody, is that I get to define the rules for me.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I'm bound by these societal rules anymore. And I don't know if anybody here understands how freeing that feels. Like I
Absolutely.
literally feel so light that I could choose to have and engage in whatever kind of relationship. Because I am so confident in who I am as a person, I will never be without love. And because I love myself, that's number 8. That's the reason why I'm never going to be without love. But romantic love, I get it from all places, shapes, and forms, and I know that I'll never be without it. And it doesn't have to come with traditional marriage licenses, which is nothing but the government being all in your business anyway and getting part of your tax money. Like I could have a completely committed, self-fulfilling relationship with any man that is not what society says I have. And I can have a bunch of them if I want to. And I love that for me. I freaking love that for me, friend. All
I
right,
do.
friend, come on, give me your second point, because
No,
I'm
no. I
happy
think
now.
I think I'm done. I think I shared everything that I wanted to share on that. I think first of all, we have a lot of smart women in our community that I think know better. But I also think that they recognize that if they don't, that we're here to support them through that journey. And getting the love that they deserve outside of the aesthetics. When it's great and it's wonderful and it's all of the things,
Mhm.
then yay. But if you're making a decision for to either get in a relationship or stay in a relationship for any other reason other than he is the best thing or she is the best thing
Yeah.
for you,
That's
and
it.
they are enhancing and enriching versus harming, um then I cannot get on the same page with you, sis. I can support you, but I just cannot get on the same page with you. And again, at my big age, I'm just unwilling to put myself in a position to be harmed,
Yeah.
um, for the sake of aesthetics, for the sake of approval from people who don't like me anyway.
Mm.
I don't even know these people on social media like that.
Yeah.
So I absolutely am unwilling to do that for the sake of anything other than true love.
Yeah. And I think that's important because I think we also need to realize that the people who are going to people who are going to have those things to say are going to have those things to say if you appear to be happily
Yeah,
in love,
happy
or
or
if
sad.
you fear right,
Right.
if you appear to be happily single. Like that's where, you know what I mean? We know
Absolutely.
hurt people hurt people. They are always going to be looking for something to look at you and project their sadness and suffering and insecurity on you. Meanwhile, I'm over here living my best life and like Tracy Ellis Ross, traveling all over the country with well moisturized legs and beautiful outfits, probably having the best sex of her life. And y'all are in here judging me because I've made a decision for myself to say that while, and she said it, while she would love to have be in a committed relationship, you have to be in a committed relationship with yourself first.
Right.
I'm committed to me first. And if I am not committed to me first and I keep coming across some foolishness, then I'm going to keep moving past it until I find that person. And that again can look like a whole bunch of different things. It could look like Ludacris say I got holes in different area codes. I got different bros. I got bros in different area codes. Like I'm committed to me first.
Right.
Not anyway, child, please.
Yeah.
All right, friend. Are we gonna talk? Are we what do you want to do, friend? I'm gonna let you make the decision.
I'm good on either way. I can do keeping up aesthetically, or we can save it until next time. I don't have a lot
I'll
to
let
share.
I'll let the people in the chat. Y'all let us know because it's approaching 7:30. I know we can tend to get very, very long-winded and stay late. And we're trying to stay within a window and respect your time and respect my time too, because I gotta get up and teach these children tomorrow. But let me know if you guys want to talk aesthetics or if you want us to save it for next week, talking about keeping up with the Joneses as far as aesthetics is concerned. Y'all know that's my area of specialty.
Yes.
And I don't mind waiting to have it, or we can jump into it now. Let me know. Y'all let us know in the chat. Uh-oh. Oh, making sure I didn't lose my people.
Uh,
All right. Well, my people not really saying anything. Lord, I hope we ain't lose them. I'm still here. We still live, friend? We still
yes, we're
live.
still
Yeah.
alive. Hmm.
Okay, so I'm gonna make a decision. I'm gonna make a decision to hold this part of the conversation because I don't want us to go super late. Um Definitely, guys, listen, you know me. Let me know any topics that you want us to talk about, and we are definitely going to do that. We're gonna hold the conversation for keeping up with the Joneses aesthetically. We'll add that, tag that onto next week's conversation. Um, yeah. And I think hold on, let me make sure y'all know we're using a new platform. So I'm not on Facebook right now. I'm in our streaming service. I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. Taretha, thank you so much. She said my makeup is beautiful. Thank you, Taretha.
Hmm.
Taretha was our winner from our giveaway. Taretha, I hope you got your makeup. And your goodies from Leo and I. Let me know if you have not gotten them. I can send you a tracking because I did send those this week. We had homecoming last week, so it took homecoming. Child was very interesting, but it was good. Um, I think that's it, friend. So, friend, you want to leave the good people, with anything?
No. I appreciate you guys letting me rush in here, looking a little haggard and crazy
You do
today.
not look haggard. You look absolutely amazing.
I was with my niece just a little while ago on auntie duty for her birthday, so we had a good time, and then I
Mm,
got caught in that hurricane.
monsoon.
Yes. Oh, Tiana said, "What color lip are you wearing, Yolante?"
Oh, thank you. Confidence. This is my matte lip gloss, Confidence. Show it to you guys. Let me put it in the chat. I always say I'm gonna put it in the chat, but it's our very beautiful child. Y'all can see, honey. I wear her, honey. She got finger marks and all kind of stuff. I don't rub the little.
Not finger
Listen,
with an A.
finger, honey,
Finger.
finger marks, baby. She wears her red, baby. This is a blue red. You guys remember Leo talking about when you wear a blue base red, it makes your teeth look how bright
Mhm.
my teeth look. So I love a good blue base red. Um, so thank you so much. Let me go ahead and put it in the chat so you guys, if you're interested in it. Darling by
Uh,
Yulante.
Thank you, Nicole. Nicole said that she loves that I caught this live finally.
Yes.
Loves us both. We love you right back.
We love you. Y'all know Nicole Denise is our boo thing, honey.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and guys, listen, even if by the way, if whatever we're talking about, even if there's something you're interested in that you just want to talk about, Listen, are inviting you to join in our conversation, honey. You can listen. Me and Leo just like to run our mouth. Really, we just like to hear ourselves talk. And we were like, when we giggle at ourselves and the stuff we talk about, we're like, people have to be privy to these shenanigans. So, whatever it is, if you are interested in having a conversation about, please don't ever hesitate. We are with the shits and the shenanigans. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
we look forward to continuing this community and having these conversations with you guys. I think one of the things that it continues to resonate with me is that we um are able to have these conversations because we're not too old to talk about these hot topics, right? These hot topics aren't above us. We still want to have the conversations, but we want to have them in a thoughtful way. We want to have them in a way that makes sense to us and to our community, our age group. And
Yeah.
so I think that what we're doing, it works. It really does work for these very high-minded, sophisticated women who want to talk about Cardi B and Nicki Minaj fighting, but in an elevated way.
Right. Right. That part. All right. So I just put that in the chat for you guys. And Leo and I will definitely be back next week. Um, y'all let us know whatever you want to hear us talking about. I don't know. Can y'all drop it in the chat now before I go? Because I know sometimes I tell y'all and y'all be like, yeah, we're gonna tell you. What's going on in the news now that Leo and I need to put on our radar? Please let me know.
I know one of the
Um,
things that we were going to talk about was, excuse me, parenting and parents parenting through their or living vicariously through their children and that kind
mhm,
of what's her name? What's the Chris Kardashian
mhm,
momager thing? Uh, we were going to talk about that. You know, there's always someone talking about some craziness that Cam Newton did and
oh,
calling people
did you see what
simps.
he recently did? That
Yeah,
was that pissed.
there's
Okay,
something
I'm
wrong with him.
sorry. I'm sorry. Did y'all hear me just bust out yelling? I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Oh my god, he's such an ass. And y'all know again, I'm trying to look at everything through the heal lens, and I know he needs healing, and I want the Lord to bless him. Child, he was being a passenger princess with his fiance or girlfriend Jasmine. She's pumping her breast for their child as she's driving. And he's sitting in the passenger seat just talking, recording her. She's like, stop recording. And she's trying to laugh and kiki. And it just felt very uncomfortable. And I was like, oh my God, I cannot. Like, sir, even if I'm just sitting here eating sunflower seeds, I need you to get over here and drive this car. Now, I'm not saying that's a man's role is to drive the car, but if I am pumping my breast milk for this child of ours, if you don't get your ass over here and drive this, what? And then I think he was even saying something about not feeling safe. What?
See,
Then come
I
drive.
didn't know that that was I didn't know
Nicole
that
is
was
funny.
him.
She's
I thought that was a friend. I thought that was a friend.
No,
I
I'm
didn't.
almost certain it was Cam Newton. I
I'm
could be
sure it
wrong, but
was.
and I think based on how she was talking, it definitely was giving Cam Newton. Like I could hear his voice and it sounded like him. Nicole Denise said, "Child, Cam Newton is cleansed off my timeline." I didn't know he was that problematic. I did not know. I had no idea until we talked about him last week, just how crazy he is. Yeah, that was bad, y'all. It was so bad. So all right, guys. Because that'll start up a whole nother conversation, and we'll revisit Cam, but I think we need a break before we talk about Cam Newton again, because that took a lot out of me. He's a hot ass mess. But I guess shit, we all are. What can I say? All right, guys. So we are out of here. It is 7:30. We have enjoyed playing with you guys for this hour and a half. Thank you so much for spending time with us this evening. We will definitely be back next week. Y'all know Leo and I are here weekly on Sundays at 5:30 p.m. And we cannot wait to play with you. As always, do not hesitate to ever DM us, inbox us, message us. If you have our numbers, text us. If you have some ideas, we are not going to throw our nose up at it. If it's something that you think is interesting, it's probably interesting to a bunch of folks, and it's something we are willing to converse about. Friend.
We love you. Bye.
All right. We'll see y'all later.
Mwah.